Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Alexis, and I'm a student recruitment advisor at the University of Calgary. So if you're in this presentation today, hopefully you've been accepted to the University of Calgary, and congratulations. Or maybe you're not accepted yet, but you're just looking forward to the next steps of joining UCalgary and becoming a dino. Well, we are here today to answer all your questions on the next steps. So I'll be doing kind of a 20 to 30 minute presentation today on kind of refreshers on the University of Calgary, and then of course all of the next steps. And then we're going to be also doing a question and answer period at the end. So you can ask your questions throughout because we have the amazing Yana. She is in the chat today. She'll be there to answer all your questions throughout the presentation if you have any that pop up. But again, we will be doing a question and answer period at the end. So if you do have any questions, you can definitely leave them to the end and we can get to them. I will start with a quick poll. I just want to know if you can see the screen and hear me. If you could just let me know. Great, it looks like it's all yeses. If you are having any technical difficulties, you can always just try this in Chrome or refresh the page. But we will get started today. And I know everyone is from all over today, so if you want to let us know in the chat where you're from. Pretty much I know everyone was here from all over the world today, so welcome. So of course, again, you are probably excited to be joining us in Canada. So welcome. This is probably for most of you going to be your first time in Canada, and that's really exciting. So the quality of life in Canada is ranked #1 in the world. So you're really going to enjoy living here. We're really safe, stable, and friendly. So you'll really get to know some friendly faces in Canada. Last year, there was over 500,000 international students who studied in Canada, and that number is growing. So you're definitely not going to be alone. There's lots of international students at the University of Calgary as well. We're growing to be close to 15% international students here. So you're definitely going to meet lots of international students as well. I see letting me know where they're from. I see some familiar faces. Lots of people here today from all over. So welcome. So a big perk of studying in Canada that you're not really going to find in many other countries is that full-time students can study on a valid study permit up to 20 hours a week off campus or on campus as well. So that's really nice. And then if you find that you really love Canada, graduates are eligible to work on a work permit up to 3 years after you graduate. As well, something that is great about Canada is our co-ops and internships that I will get into soon, but definitely really great opportunities to work within your degree. And the University of Calgary is in the province of Alberta. Again, you probably haven't been here before, but we are a Western province in Canada. We see all 4 seasons. So we have, of course, the nice bright summer, bright and hot summers in Alberta, so it's really nice to get that warm weather and you can go hiking, you can go sightseeing. There's so much to do in the summer and there's lots to do in the winter. So there is skiing, snowboarding. We're also home to 5 national parks and there's 6 ski and snowboard resorts within 2 hours from campus. So there's lots to do if you like skiing and snowboarding. There's just lots to do all around Alberta. But the big thing that I always like to highlight is that we don't have a provincial sales tax. And this sales tax pretty much just makes everything a little bit more affordable in Alberta, especially when you're comparing to, living in Ontario or BC. You'll just find that cost of living in Alberta in Calgary is a lot more affordable. And the University of Calgary is, of course, in the city of Calgary. So great city. I've grown up here my entire life and I love it here. And I think that all of you will enjoy this city as well. We're the 5th most livable city in the world. So I'm sure all of you are excited to be joining. I think just such a wonderful city to live in. Like I said before, one of the big factors that we're so livable is because we're so affordable. We have the 2nd lowest cost of living in Canada and the 9th in North America. I know how important it is for all of you to, be able to fund your degree and save some money when you're studying here. So it's definitely great to be able to do that here. As well, the lifestyle is really exciting here. So we're quite a large city in Canada. So you're going to see lots of big events here, like concerts. We have our Calgary Stampede. We have lots of different restaurants and cuisines here. We're also home to 9 of Canada's top 100 restaurants. So whatever food that you're used to from home, I'm sure you'll be able to find it here. And if you like being active, we definitely love being outside in Calgary. And we're home to North America's most extensive pathway for hiking and biking. So definitely nice if you like to get outdoors. As well for employment, whether you're looking to work after your degree or part-time, or of course, looking at prospects after you graduate. We have the highest concentration of high-tech workers in Canada. So this is great for the students who are interested in tech. And we're number 2 in Canada for most small businesses. I know the weather, people definitely think the weather in Canada is super cold, but rest assured it is nice and mild here, especially because we have the warm Chinook winds. So this can raise the temperature in winter by 15 degrees. Of course, we have the snow here, but I think you'll think that just like us, we think it's very beautiful. And we're also Canada's sunniest major city. So lots of sun all year round, even when it's snowing. So this is your campus. This is an aerial view of your campus. So this is the University of Calgary main campus. You've probably been doing a lot of research on us, and you'll know that we are a medium-sized university in Canada. So last year we had approximately 30,000 undergraduate students. And so definitely a medium-sized campus in terms of Canada, and there's lots of amenities for students on this campus. So I'll point out a couple. I've talked about a couple before, so maybe I'll pick a couple new ones. We have our MacEwan Student Center, and this is really going to be our hub for all things, recreation, student services in this center. So it's in the middle of campus, and it's really nice because all students are going to be coming here for lunch. They're going to be coming here to try new clubs, which I'll get into soon. And this is where you get into a lot of student services as well. You can buy flowers here. You can get a haircut here. Really anything that you'd like to try, you can do it here. So definitely an exciting spot on campus. And then as well, we have our Taylor Institute for Teaching and Learning. So this is a new spot on campus, and really the purpose of this building was created to make sure that all your professors are, not just professionals in their field, but they're really good at teaching. So we make sure in this space that students and professors are getting really comprehensive teaching training. So they'll be able to teach you the best of their knowledge, and they'll be able to teach you, making sure that it's meaningful and that you're getting all the right information. So lots of exciting things going on campus. Again, you're going to have a UPass. So I've talked about this before. If you've heard any presentations from me, you have this UPass, which can get you around campus, and it can get you around the city. So we're 5 short stops on the train to downtown. So definitely nice to have that as well. But if you have any other questions about our campus, please make sure to ask them in the chat because we will definitely get to them. If you'd like to take a pause now, this is if you'd like to see our view book if you haven't already. So for most of you, you're going to be highlighting or looking at our international student view book. This is where you can see pretty much everything from your fees to your program to residence, pretty much everything that I will talk about today. But if you'd like to pull it up on your phone and read along, you can do that. Okay, so you're going to be coming to the University of Calgary as a first-year student. I think being a first-year student at any institution is probably one of the best years. It's one of your most formative years. And I do think there's some highlights that make it really special at the University of Calgary. So again, first and foremost, it's a really unique year because you're going to be meeting probably the most number of people in your first year. And for all of you, you're going to be making a big move. And I think that's really exciting. But again, first year at UCalgary is definitely something special. So we have our clubs week. This is our clubs rush week, where in our students union that I was talking about before, our Mac Hall, McEwen Student Center, we have almost all of our 300 student clubs. They get together on campus, and you can walk around, see all the clubs, try something new, and you can sign up for, maybe a hobby that you already enjoy, or again, you can sign up for something that you've never tried before, and it's a great way to make new friends. So that's really exciting, and something that I highly recommend for all first year students. As well, we have students union events, and I love to talk about this one because I'm not sure if you can see in the photo, but we have a dog there, and we have lots of different events going on campus to make sure that you're feeling connected, and you're feeling really comfortable on campus. And pet therapy, I think, is a really nice way to do this. So we'll have designated spots on campus where we can bring in some pets like dogs, and you can just come, take a mental health break and pet the dogs. I'm not sure how many of you have pets, but this is something that I think is really nice on campus. So that's an exciting one. But there's lots of student union events. And with that, I think, again, another one of our really exciting events on campus is to cheer on our dinos. So we have lots of first year kickoff events where you can go to sporting events. We have our Crocha Clinic, which is where we have our dinos hockey team, and we verse the other large university in the city. They're not as large as us, and you're making a great choice to, study with us as well. But we'll verse them in hockey, and just by showing up, you can be entered to win in some free tuition. So lots of really exciting events going on in your first year, and every year you're going to have really exciting events as well. So definitely lots to look forward to as a first year at the University of Calgary. So just to touch a little bit more on the clubs, like I said, we have over 300 student clubs on campus. So lots of different ways to make new friends and try something new. And actually, if there somehow is not a club that appeals to you, maybe you have a really specific hobby, or you and your friends have a specific hobby, you can get yourself plus 9 friends together, and then you can go to the students union and get funding to start your very own club. So I highly encourage all of you to go to that club's rush week at the beginning of the year. And again, if there isn't a club for you, you can definitely start your own, which is really exciting. And of course, again, being a student on campus, there is so much that makes it exciting from different events. So there's a lot more than studying, and we definitely have to be active as well. And like I said before, we're a medium university, but we have lots of amenities. So we have our aquatic center with an Olympic-sized pool, fitness center that is 2 floors with an Olympic-sized track on the top, gymnastics center, Olympic Oval, which is where we have the fastest speed skating ice in the world. Lots more to enjoy. And we have our outdoor center. So this is really unique. And this is where we have pretty much every sport that you can think of. You can rent the gear here. So, maybe you're not going to be bringing a bike here. You can rent a bike here, hockey equipment. If you want to try snowshoeing, if you want to get cricket equipment, pretty much all the different sports, you can rent the equipment here, or you can try something new like white water rafting. You can always sign up for different activities if you'd like to try them. As again, Calgarians love to be outside, and there's lots of opportunity to try new things here. Many of you might be wanting to play sports at the competitive level, and if you'd like to do that, then there's lots of opportunity to be on a varsity competitive team with the Dinos. So all students are Dinos, and all of you are going to be a Dino when you join us. But again, if you'd like to play at the competitive level, lots of ways to do that. And we have lots of different sports. We have basketball, cross country, field hockey, and more. And the best way to ensure that you get on a team is to go to our website. Yana just put it in the chat, and as well, we have it on the screen as well. So go to this website, and you'll be able to reach out to the coaches. They can, reach out to you through email. Maybe you'll send them a video. Maybe you'll come for a tryout. And this is the best way to reach out to become a dino, and I encourage all of you to do this early just to make sure that you have the best chances to get on a varsity team. Like I said before, it is just as fun to go and cheer on your dinos teams because you can be entered to win free tuition, which is really exciting. And it's just a great way to get to meet people as well. And I see lots of questions in the Q&A, and thank you so much for all your questions. You can keep them coming, or you can save them at the end as well for the Q&A session. So I'd love to talk about study abroad. Of course, all of you are focused right now on considering the big move to Canada, to Calgary, and maybe you haven't traveled this far before, and that's really exciting. Maybe some of you, though, have a big travel bug, so maybe, you might be considering maybe doing some travel within your degree or after your degree, and I definitely encourage you to consider traveling within your degree with the University of Calgary. So we aim to have 50% of students take part in an international experience, and one of the best ways to do this is by studying abroad. So you can study, work, or volunteer abroad, and we have opportunities in more than 45 countries. You can earn credits toward your UCalgary degree while studying in another country, and the big perk of doing this is that you can pay UCalgary tuition while you study abroad. So you can either be paying the same tuition studying in your dorm room in residence, or you could be paying the same tuition while studying in Paris, France. So lots of opportunities to get these really exciting international experiences with the University of Calgary. So I see some questions on co-ops and internships, and I'm glad because that is one of our kind of best things that we have at the University of Calgary, and one of the most exciting things I think about studying in Canada as well. So most people think of the co-ops and internships, and I'll definitely get into those, but there's lots of different ways to do a work integrated learning experience at the University of Calgary. So we have capstone and consulting projects, of course, the cooperative education, internships. We also have practicums, paid research opportunities, clinical and field experiences if you're in a medical degree, and placement community engaged learning. So pretty much in all your degrees, whatever degree that you're taking, you're going to find opportunity to get the work experience within your degree, again, whether it's with a field study or a practicum. Co-ops and internships, which is what most students think about, is going to be your paid work terms. So we have co-ops in the arts and commerce, and we have internships in engineering and science. So they're the paid work terms, and it's nice because we have some of the highest minimum wage in Canada. And most students generally take these work terms between their second and third year or your fourth and fifth year. So it's something that you could think about a little bit later. You don't have to start thinking about them now. But generally within your first year, you can start doing your research on your co-op or your internship and start to look at applying into the co-op office or the internship office. So definitely a lot of exciting things to look forward to with work integrated learning. And we have lots of really high profile companies that you can work with. We've had students work with Amazon, Suncor, the United Nations. You can do your co-op or internship in Calgary or abroad. So lots to look forward to with the co-ops and internships. And of course, all the work integrated learning opportunities. I talked a bit about student supports when I was talking about campus, and we definitely have a lot to provide for students here. So much going on campus. Of course, we have our Student Success Center because we want all students to succeed academically. So we have, writing support, of course. If you have papers for a course, you can definitely take your papers to them and they'll help you write and edit your paper. We have academic advising, peer-led study sessions, so you can study with other students in your class, which is, again, another way to get to meet people. We also have our amazing international student services. So international student services, this is where I hope, if you have already received an offer of admission, hopefully you have started to reach out to international student services because they're going to be pretty much helping you with everything you need from getting your study permit all the way to, traveling to Canada and getting here, getting to campus. So we have a free immigration advising, so they'll help you with your study permit, work permit, and visas. You just take your UCalgary email at UCID and you can email them, reach out to them. And they also have an international student orientation. So at the beginning of the year, you can, have an international student orientation and meet other international students, which is really nice. You'll get to know campus. They'll help you get to know the city. So they're really there to help you feel that Calgary and the University of Calgary is a home. So if you haven't reached out to them yet, you can definitely do that as well very soon. I encourage all of you, if you have your conditional offer of admission, to please reach out to International Student Services to start your study permit process. I also hope that, if you have your conditional offer of admission, that you have looked into living on campus and applied for residence. So living on campus, in my opinion, is the best way to get to know other people. You're close to your classes, labs, libraries, and of course you're close to all your friends. You're going to meet other international students, Canadian students. So I really highly recommend residence. You also have a 2-year guarantee. So this means that if you apply by May 1st of this year, and for your second year, if you apply by May 1st of next year, you're going to be able to live on residence for 2 years guaranteed. You can live on residence all 4 years if you'd like as well. We have double and single rooms. So if you'd like to live with another student in your bedroom, kind of have that classic first year residence experience, you can do that. Or if you'd like more privacy, you can have a single room. And we have a great meal plan. It is an all you care to eat meal plan. So you can go however many times you want in a day, pay the same rate, and get exactly what you want to eat. Whether you're vegetarian, halal, gluten-free, we have all different options for students. So I highly recommend that if you're, got your offer, definitely look into applying to residence today. Okay, so I see there's lots of questions in the chat. Definitely keep them coming, and we'll also have a question and answer period at the end. But now we're going to be shifting into the next steps. So this is, again, if you have received your offer of admission, or if you're looking forward to receiving your offer of admission at the University of Calgary. So next steps. So you're a dino, you've received your offer of admission, now what? So we're going to go over a few kind of next steps and things to look forward to in the next few months. So we have a web page for students to learn about the next steps. Jana will put this in chat kind of at the top as well, but this web page is going to be your best spot to go to for learning all about the next steps. So it'll tell you, to apply for your study permit, course registration, so many different things. It'll tell you everything on this web page. And so I encourage you to monitor this web page. Jana just put it in the chat. Best spot to go to for all the next steps. So definitely make sure that you take a look at that page today. So you have your first, your second choice, if you've received an alternate offer, and how accepting works. So if you've received an offer of admission, maybe you've received your offer of admission to your first choice, maybe your second choice, or you have an alternate offer. I'd like to explain how that works. So if you've received an offer for your first choice, pretty much that's the only offer you're going to receive, because we understand that your first choice is your favorite choice. So congratulations on your offer to your first choice. If you receive an offer to your second choice, I think this is where we get a lot of questions, but if you receive an offer to your second choice, if you accept this offer, we are still going to reevaluate you for your first choice if there is room in the program when we get transcripts later on. So don't worry about accepting your second choice offer. In fact, I encourage you to accept and pay the deposit for your second choice, because don't worry, we're still going to reevaluate you for your first choice. Same thing there for your alternate offer. So we're always going to still reevaluate you for your second and first choice if you accept your alternate offer. And this really ensures that you can get a spot at the University of Calgary. And your alternate offer pretty much means that we still see that you're a highly successful student, and maybe you don't have the grades for your first or second choice program, but we still want to offer you a spot at UCalgary. So accepting your offer, really the only way to truly accept your offer is to pay the $500 non-refundable tuition deposit. So for most students, this deposit is due May 1st of 2022. And there's lots of ways to pay the fees. You can look up on our website all the different ways to pay the fees. But yeah, the $500 non-refundable tuition deposit, of course, goes towards your tuition, and it is non-refundable. So definitely make sure you get those in if you want to ensure that you have a spot at the University of Calgary. We also have an event called You at UCalgary coming up on April 9th, 2022. This event is for all students like you. You've been admitted or you're looking forward to being admitted. And just like the title kind of explains, we're going to be explaining all the things that you can look forward to at the University of Calgary. So it'll kind of be like this presentation, but more in depth. It'll help you with course registration. You can talk to your faculty. You can talk to current students. So I highly recommend, looking to joining You at UCalgary on April 9th. And then course registration begins May of 2022. So you're not starting yet, but we will get a little bit into course registration today as well. So most of you probably have a conditional offer of admission. Conditional means, of course, you have some conditions to meet on your offer. And for most students, you must maintain your average, complete all required courses, and submit any outstanding documents as outlined on your to-do list, and of course, graduate from high school. So when we say maintain your average, you would have been admitted to your program with a, your high school average. And so I encourage you, if you don't know what your average is, you can reach out to us. But say you got admitted to your, for example, engineering with a 90. You need to maintain the 90 average or approximately around the 90 average for the rest of the year. As well, complete all the required courses needed for your engineering degree or any other degree that you got admitted to, and then submit your documents, which generally is going to be your final exams when you have them. As well, all students will find a link in your student center in May, and this will tell you the final admitting average that you need to maintain, and this is good to look at when you're considering your final grades, your final exams. As well, we're getting into some additional admission information for document submission. So, of course, if all of you have an offer of admission, then you would have already uploaded transcripts, so that's perfect. Our final initial transcript deadline is March 15th, and this is pretty much, you would have had to submit anything by March 15th, and all of you should have done that by now, so that is perfect. But then our final transcript deadline is August 1st of 2022. This is when our final official transcripts must be mailed and received by the office. Of course, many schools, I know August 1st is a little bit of a tricky deadline, and I know COVID can make this a little bit difficult. So if you know you're going to be a little bit later than August 1st, don't worry. Just reach out to us and we can help you with the deadline. But around August 1st is going to be your deadline to submit your final transcripts, and these need to be official mailed transcripts to the University of Calgary. I just want to highlight costs again for your first year. For most students, generally, you're going to be getting your costs in your student center near the end of the year. And as well in January, we're going to have an updated tuition letter sent to you with your tuition. But approximately for international students, tuition is about $24,000 Canadian for most programs. And then, of course, Schulich School of Engineering will be about $30,000 Canadian. But please wait for your updated tuition letters in January to get a breakdown. And if you have any questions on tuition right now, please refer to this slide or the cost calculator to get the most accurate representation of your fees. For most students, for international students, in a year, including, residence, meal plan, textbooks, and everything else in a year, you can expect to pay around $34,000 Canadian to about $49,000 Canadian. So if you have any question on tuition, please just let us know. And I just want to thank Yana because I know there's so many questions in chat right now. So thank you so much for answering all of them. It's really exciting that all of you have so many questions today. I also want to highlight awards. So hopefully many of you applied for Prestige Awards. The deadline to apply to those did close December 1st. And if you haven't applied for awards yet, I really want to stress that. Don't worry, we have lots more scholarships that you can apply to. The deadline to apply to all scholarships now is going to be March 1st. So make sure you get your scholarship applications in. These are going to be for your high school entrance awards. We look at everything from your extracurriculars to your academics, of course, and you apply on your student portal. So log into your student portal. It takes about an hour to fill out this scholarship application. So make sure you get that application in so we can hopefully get you some scholarships for your first year at the University of Calgary. I said I was going to highlight course registration, and that definitely is what today is going to be about, is just an overview, a highlight, because it is December. Course registration does not happen for a while, but you can definitely start to think about it today. The timelines that we look at is that in March and April, you can start to look at your classes. So you can shop around for classes and preload your kind of shopping cart for courses. So you can pick and choose what you'd like to take and kind of pre-pick and get them all lined up. So when course registration opens, you can hopefully get into all the classes that you want. You can also visit our website to get a high school registration guide and a first year degree guide, so you can get a really good idea of what you're taking in your first year. And when the time gets closer, you also can reach out to, we have first year registration advisors. So we have a whole team dedicated to advising for course registration. So that's really helpful. In May, you will have an exact enrollment appointment posted to your student center, and this is the date and time that you can register for courses. In June and July, you can look at government student loan options. This is for Canadian students, but as well in July, you're going to be kind of looking at your move to Canada. And in August, you're going to be understanding tuition and general fees, and pretty much in August and September, you're going to be making your move. So again, like I highlighted before, I think the big thing for right now is to start your study permit application. That's kind of the next thing to do, is to look at paying the deposit and looking to start your study permit application. So we're getting into some important dates. So again, important dates for me is to right now start the study permit application, but March 1st is the deadline to make any changes to your application. So up until March 1st, you can make changes to your application. So you can change your first choice, you can change your second choice. Something to note that is, if you have an offer of admission and if you change that choice, you're going to lose that offer. But say, for example, you have an offer to your second choice and you think your first choice is a little bit too competitive, you can change your first choice to something less competitive. And again, the deadline to make those changes is March 1st. As well, March 1st is the deadline for scholarship applications. That's pretty much kind of the only date that I want to highlight now. As well, May 1st is the deadline to accept your offer, but I encourage you to do that sooner than later. But yeah, September 6th is also the start of classes, so that's something to look forward to. As well, probably you've been in touch with us, but I just want to start to end off by highlighting our international recruitment team. So most of you said you were, an international student from all over the world, and we have a dedicated team of international recruitment advisors who can help you with all your questions. And as the year kind of goes on, we will be kind of giving you other contacts. So we're still going to be your contact now if you're having any admission questions, change of program questions. But as the year goes on, we're still going to be your contact, but we will also be leading you to contacts of course registration and study permit questions. So it'll be really exciting to help you along this journey throughout the year. But again, we have advisors for all over the world. But we have Mina Borbelli, who is our coordinator for international recruitment. There is me, and we have myself representing India and the US. And then we have Cynthia, who's the recruiter for Africa. Michaela, who is the recruiter for Southeast Asia, including Bangladesh, and the Middle East, including Egypt. We have Carly, who is the recruiter for Asia. So it's kind of Central Asia, being China, Korea, and Japan. And then Yana, who is the recruiter for Latin America and the Caribbean. So you can reach out to all of us for questions if you have them at any time throughout the year. You can follow us on social media. We have Instagram, Facebook. We have a YouTube, which I think is going to be really helpful. I know there's lots of questions on residents and co-ops and internships and research. And on our YouTube, we have lots of videos on these. So please go to our YouTube page. It is Choose UCalgary. You can go on YouTube and just type up Choose UCalgary and you'll find lots of videos on that. And we have a podcast, which is really helpful as well. You can also sign up for an upcoming tour and events. So if you'd like to sign up for different events, we have lots of presentations, pretty much the exact same as the one today. But if you'd like to maybe ask more questions later on, you can always attend a second presentation. So you can scan the QR code and sign up for lots of events here. And we're going to end off with 5 reasons to choose UCalgary. So 1, excellence in academics, 2, research opportunities, 3, a caring community, 4, the opportunity to earn while you learn, and 5, an adventurous lifestyle. Okay, so I'm going to play a short video, and then I know there's lots of questions in the chat, so Yana and I are going to take a look at them, and then we will answer all your questions in the Q&A afterwards. Okay, so we are now in the question and answer period. There are so many questions, and so we're just going to take a sec to look to answer them and read them all. I know I have a few that I'd like to answer right away. So I have a question that is, hello, I was wondering which website I could use to rent an apartment close to UofC. So this is a great question and definitely one that I'd love to direct you to our International Student Services for. So International Student Services, like I was saying before, they help you with their study permit, but they help you with so much more. So they are going to help you with finding a place, handling for that right now. They have resources to help you, look at different websites, just like you're wanting to look at for renting off campus, how to find a roommate, how to find something within your budget. But they help with so much more. They help with banking, finding a cell phone plan, getting around on campus or off campus, so using transit, pretty much anything that you would need to be a comfortable student in campus or off campus. So just give me 1 second to get that link for you. Okay, so they have a housing link that's going to be really helpful for you. I'll just post that in the chat right now. So it'll be resources for on campus and for off campus. And I'm just going to put it in the main chat. So there's that link there. Then another question that I have is, if I have a conditional offer and accept and pay $500 and meet the conditions specified in my guaranteed admission for the fall 2020 year, or is that subject to some seat limits? So good question. Of course, you have a conditional offer and those conditions are going to be specified in your student center. And that is the way to guarantee your admission. But as well, the next thing to guarantee your admission is by paying the $500 deposit by May 1st. And that really is what secures your seat. So when we say seat limits and you're thinking seat limits, May 1st and paying that deposit really is what secures your seat. So right now, we've kind of given you that kind of conditional seat. Maybe you're in business and we've given you the conditional offer of admission, and May 1st and that $500 deposit really is what secures the seat. So by paying, you've reserved a seat in business, and then still you have those conditions to meet. So you have to meet the conditions, graduate high school, all of that things. And then once we get you your final offer of admission, and if you've paid, you can pretty much see that as guaranteed. So definitely great question there. We have another. Hi, my final transcript for IB exams will come out in July 2022. Is it possible to confirm acceptance after final results? So pretty much that is how it works. So similar to the first question, if I'm understanding this correctly, we need to see your final exam as part of the conditions on your offer. So generally how it is working is that you meet the conditions on your conditional offer of admission. And again, it's going to be keep up your grades, finish high school, finish your final exams, and that will be your final acceptance by getting your final offer of admission. So yeah, get us your final IB transcripts, and of course, complete any other conditions on your offer of admission, and that will be enough to confirm acceptance. But of course, this is subjective. So if you have any specific questions on your specific offer of admission, please reach out to your specific recruiter as well. Unless I pay deposit, am I not guaranteed a position? Great question. No, you're not guaranteed until you pay the deposit. So we have a spot reserved for you until May 1st, or whatever is specified in your offer letter. And after May 1st, we're going to revoke that from you unless you pay the $500 deposit. So you have until May 1st to kind of pay for your seat. And then after May 1st, if you have not paid for that seat, then you will not have a spot at the University of Calgary. So make sure you definitely are paying attention to that deadline on your student center. What do we exactly mean with admission averages? I've been given a presidential admission scholarship of $5,000 with my letter. It says that I must maintain 95% average, and I'm currently in my 12th grade. What does admission averages mean? An average of 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, or just the 12th grade marks? So we're looking for you to maintain your average in your 12th year of 95%. So you need to maintain a 95% with your required courses for your program. So you're going to be looking at your 5 courses required for admission, and please make sure to maintain that 95% with that as well. So you're not looking at your 11th or your 10th. You're now looking at your second semester grades and your final exam grades to maintain that 95%. Next question, we have A2 results will be available around mid-August. What do I do then? So like I said, no worries if your results come out around mid-August. So if it's not August 1st, no worries. Just let us know. So drop your recruiter an email. I'm just going to put meet our team in the chat, and maybe Yana can put it in kind of the sticky note as well. But this is for our entire team. And if you think that your exams are going to be a little later than August 1st, just let us know. However, it should not be a problem if your, final transcripts are coming a little later than August 1st. But do let us know, because very late is a problem, but anytime within August should be fine. So just let us know, please. Hi, what transcripts are required in August for an A-level student? So any questions that are really dependent on, specifics like this, I would always recommend reaching out to your recruiter. But in general, for your A-level exams, we just need to see your final transcripts for your A-levels. But again, I'm just making this assumption based on hearing you say that you're taking your A-levels in your second semester. So make sure you get us your A-level transcripts in August. But if you have any specific questions, please reach out to your recruiter with the links that we posted. If I accept my second choice program, does that affect the chances of obtaining my first choice program? Yeah, so I talked about that earlier. There is no worry about accepting your second choice program. We still will give you all chances to get in your first choice program. So we see pretty much that your first choice is the one that you really desire, the one that you prefer. So even if you accept your second choice, you pay the deposit to your second choice, you're still going to have every chance if the program has spots to get into your first choice. And for example, if you do get offered your first choice after you've paid the deposit for your second choice, the deposit will just move right over to your first choice. So do not worry about accepting your second choice. In fact, I highly recommend accepting your second choice. My predicted average is 90% and had got the conditional offer. And my query of is the average goes down to 85 or 86, whether I'd be getting admission or not. So we can't really advise on specific numbers when you're looking at your exact admitting average and how much it can fluctuate. But we really strive to, have you stay close within the admitting average. Again, I don't want to give any specific numbers because I'd hate to give a number and then have it be wrong, but please try to stay close within your admitting average. If you want to reach out to your specific recruiter to have the conversation as well, you can do that, but staying close should be fine. I wouldn't worry too much with the numbers that you're giving me, but just try to stay as close as you can. We'll just take a look at the questions here. There's so many questions. It's hard to know what Yana has answered and if I've answered them. Let's see. I have one from Shreya. Is it possible to and I lost it. Just give me 1 second. Is there a way to get in touch with a future UCalgary student with the same intake and get to know them beforehand? So I think the best place to do that is going to be you at UCalgary. So this is where you can be just around other students and get to talk to faculty and current students. Of course, I know you're looking for future UCalgary students, and there's lots of resources to do that aren't sponsored by the University of Calgary. So you can kind of do your own research, look at other websites that you might find other students. But in terms of what is sponsored by the University of Calgary, I think you at UCalgary and attending events like today is going to be your best opportunity to get to talk to other students and be around other students. But for talking to current students, definitely look at attending you at UCalgary. Which is going to be April 9th. There's another. I received an updated offer, updated fees after the first offer letter. Well, there'll be a further update in January 2022. So my best advice for this is to wait for January 2022. We have been instructed that there are updated updated tuition offer letters coming out in January 2022. So I would recommend to wait until January 2022. However, please start applying for your study permit with the updated offer that you received now. I also encourage, because it's hard to take a look at your student portal right now. It's not hard to. I can't take a look at your student portal right now. So please reach out to your recruiter because they're going to have probably a better answer for you. But regardless, start applying for your study permit with what you have now. And you can also wait till January, but I think for more specifics, definitely reach out to your recruiter for specific questions on that. I see one. There's a quick one. Are there any scholarships for English language proficiency? No, there is not. How are admission averages calculated? We calculate your admission average based on your 5 required courses for your program. So we don't look at any other courses other than your 5. So say you've taken 10 courses in your grade 12 year, for example, we're only going to look at the 5 required courses for your admission average. So we're going to get the average from your 5 courses. So if you want help calculating your average, you can reach out to your recruiter or take a look at your 5 required courses and get the average from there. I don't know if we missed any others, but wow, this is so many questions. And again, I think the best spot to get your questions answered really personally is your recruiter, because they can take a look at your student portal. They can really break down things with you. You can book private meetings with them. So definitely make sure to do that. Let me see. I applied for my study permit with the first letter of admission I got, not the updated one. Would I face any trouble? Any study permit questions, please reach out to our international student services. I would definitely hesitate to give you any advice on this because we aren't trained in immigration advising. We do highly recommend to begin the application process with first letter. So I think you definitely shouldn't be worried there because you're in the right spot. But I'll give you the link to ISS in the chat, International Student Services, and they can help you along with your study permit process. Should I apply for study permit with my conditional offer? Yes, you should definitely begin that process and reach out to International Student Services. So many questions. This is so exciting. Do admission averages differ from student to student? Admission averages differ from program to program. So not by each student. Each student who has applied is being looked at with the same admission scale. Students might get admitted on slightly different averages depending on the time of year, depending on the competition. But I encourage you to just look at the different averages that we have between programs. Is the expected tuition fees going to be higher or lower than the initial offer we have right now? Again, I can't really answer that because I'm not looking at your student portal or your offer of admission, and I can't really make those kind of guesses right now. I don't know what program you applied to or anything like that. But again, like I highlighted before, any questions that you want answered more specifically on tuition, I recommend right now to go to our cost calculator. That's going to be the best spot to get kind of the most specific breakdown of fees. May you give more information about studying abroad while studying at the University of Calgary? Is there a list of approved universities to study abroad? Good question. We have, the partnership with over 45 countries that you can find online. I would also recommend that you reach out to Study Abroad as well, because they'll be able to help you look at all the different partner universities, partner kind of countries that we work with. You can book an appointment with an advisor. I'm going to give that link in the chat. Yeah, they'll be able to help you with looking at specific partners. COVID, we partnered with universities online, so you can take partner courses with the different institutions online, which is really exciting. You can still get a global kind of education while working from home, which is really nice as well. But study abroad is really exciting. We've had colleagues study abroad. I know I've had one colleague who studied abroad in Japan. She had a business degree and she's learning about commerce in Japan. So that is really exciting. Yeah, but study abroad is really exciting at the University of Calgary. I think you are a student from Canada, and so I think that's really exciting that you're looking to expand your horizons and study outside of Canada as well. So definitely exciting. Are my final grades used to calculate admission averages or grades from my transcript? So I'm going to reword that because I think the best way to look at it is that we will give you, if you're in this presentation today, you probably have that conditional offer of admission, and that was probably, taken from your transcripts. Of course, we look at your transcripts to get your grades. Transcripts includes exams, so your final transcript is going to have your final grades, and your transcript from first semester has your, either predicted grades or first semester grades. But that is how we calculated your initial evaluation. And then we're going to use your final transcript to finalize your admission. Will the deadline for each required action be displayed on the student portal? Yes, you're going to have deadlines for paying your deposit. You're going to have your enrollment appointment, which is the date to register for courses. Also that deadline student portal. So all deadlines, including fees, things like that are going to be on your student portal. Oh, you're a Canadian studying in Saudi Arabia. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So exciting that you're looking at studying abroad as well. And I am seeing a lot of very specific questions. We only have 5 minutes left for questions. And so I'm really going to give a really brief overview of these because, again, I really want to highlight any specific questions, please take to your recruiter. I received a conditional offer based on my AL grades, predicted grades. In case I get lower results, will my offer be withdrawn? So I already highlighted this. It may be withdrawn if you get too low. So we recommend that you stay close within your grades. We can't give a specific number, but Specific admitting averages will be available on your student portal in May, but for now, stay close within the grades that you got admitted at. I'm an A-level student, and what do I need to maintain my 95 admission average? Does this mean that I must obtain the A star in the final or achieve a 95% or greater in the exam? I don't have the scale in front of me that transfers the GCE A-level grades over to a percentage. So if you want to email your recruiter to get the kind of conversion from the 95% over into your curriculum, you can reach out to us to do that. How does the Indian grades get converted into Canadian grades for admission? So we don't release our internal grading scale. However, it is nice that both the Canadian grading scale and Indian grading scale is generally on a percentage. We don't release if it's exactly the same as a Canadian scale, but you can rest assured that it's going to be quite close. And so we both use percentages when we look at your grades. Is this video going to be available somewhere? Yeah, it's likely going to be available on YouTube within about a week. We'll get our team to post this to YouTube as well. Do I have to have paid the deposit to apply for a study permit? No, you do not. So you can start applying for your study permit now, having not paid for the deposit yet. So again, we only have a couple more minutes here. What's the difference between accepting the offer and paying the deposit? So really just by clicking accept, it doesn't secure your spot. So it kind of is just like I like to think of it as, really paying the deposit is the only way to secure your admission into the University of Calgary, and more than that, securing your seat. So again, we gave you a conditional seat, and the real only way to ensure your seat is to pay the deposit and then meet condition in your offer of admission. So yeah, you can click accept, but it's not really going to do anything for securing your seat. So no difference if you click accept or don't click accept. I encourage you, if you want to click accept, you can do that, but paying the deposit is the only way to ensure your seat. Are there interviews or anything else? No, there are no interviews at the University of Calgary to get into your program. No admission interviews. Yep, I just said this presentation will be online probably within about a week. Minimum amount of courses credits that I can take in the engineering program. So I would actually take that question to International Student Services, because you will need to be a full-time student on your study permit to be, on your study permit and studying in Canada. I believe full-time student is 3 and above. I'm not sure if it's 4 or above. Maybe Anna remembers, but minimum is also going to be very dependent on the program that you're in. So you will also want to reach out to, thank you, Yana, it's 3 and above. You will also want to reach out to the Schulich School of Engineering, because there's going to be limits. Different faculties limit you on how low you can take, the lowest number of courses you can take in a semester. And engineering, I think, is going to be quite kind of regulated. So you can reach out to the Faculty of Engineering to see kind of the lowest number of courses you can take, but of course the lowest is 3. What if I pay the deposit, but I'm not able to maintain my grades? Like I said, if you go too low, then you might get your offer rescinded. So try to stay as close as possible to your admitting average. How has your day been? It's good. It's just about 8 a.m. in Calgary. It's not too sunny yet, so the sun hasn't rose yet. My day's been good. Yeah, excited for the rest of the day. Thank you for that question. Yeah, engineering may be 5 courses, so definitely keep that in mind. I will actually just take this last question today, and then we will wrap up, so we won't accept any more questions today. So do I expect support from UCalgary for getting an internship opportunity? So absolutely. You apply into our internship kind of program, and they're going to support you in hopefully getting into the program. And then once you're in the program, they help you with applying to internships, the interviews, the resumes, and all that. So lots of support for getting an internship. Okay, wow, that was so many questions. Thank you so much for all the questions today. Again, we have pinned at the top, Yana has pinned at the top the Meet the Recruiters page. And so I really highly recommend all of you to reach out to your recruiter. We have WhatsApps, We have emails. You can book a one-on-one meeting with us because I know a lot of you had some pretty specific questions, and you can feel free to ask them to us personally. Thank you for taking the time to see us today. You can probably find this video on YouTube within about a week. And again, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.